So guys, the Apple Watch Series 11 is still about 7 months away, but many of you are already wondering, what upgrades will it bring over the Series 10? And more importantly, will Apple finally add a glucose monitor? Today, we're diving into everything we know so far about the Apple Watch Series 11, including whether that long-awaited glucose sensor is actually happening. But first, let's take a quick look at where we are with the Apple Watch lineup. Last year, in 2024, Series 10 saw one of the biggest upgrades in years, especially in design. The display got significantly larger, even surpassing the size of the Apple Watch Ultra 2's screen. On top of that, the watch itself became 10% thinner, making it look even sleeker. However, not everyone was thrilled with this change. While the slimmer design is great, it didn't improve battery life. In fact, battery performance remained the same as the Series 9 and 8. If Apple had kept the same thickness as before, we might have seen a boost in battery life, something a lot of users were hoping for. Now, let's talk about the Apple Watch Series 11. What can we expect? And more importantly, will we finally see a built-in glucose monitor? Currently, the Apple Watch doesn't have an official built-in glucose sensor. However, third-party options like Dexcom exist, allowing users to monitor glucose levels and sync the data to their watch or iPhone. While helpful, it's not the fully integrated experience many are hoping for. That said, Apple has been developing its own glucose sensor for years. In fact, they reportedly reached a proof of concept stage back in 2023. This suggests they've managed to get the sensor working, but it likely isn't accurate enough yet. For a feature like this to roll out, it needs to be nearly flawless, delivering correct readings 999 times out of 1,000. After all, this is a matter of people's health, and Apple won't release it until it meets its high standards. In late 2023, a new lead was introduced to the glucose project, further confirming that Apple is actively working on it. Moving into 2024, there have been even more developments, including an app that appears to have been rolled out to select Apple employees. This app seems designed to help prevent diabetes in the first place, which strongly suggests that Apple is working on a glucose sensor alongside it. After all, it wouldn't make much sense to have an app focused on diabetes prevention without a way to monitor glucose levels accurately. With that in mind, it's clear that Apple is making progress in this area. However, based on current leaks and rumors, it seems unlikely that the Apple Watch Series 11 will feature this sensor. There haven't been any significant reports indicating that Apple is ready to integrate this technology into its upcoming smartwatch, which is disappointing for those hoping to see it soon. With the Apple Watch Series 11, we might actually see the return of some older sensors. If you remember, when the Series 9 was introduced, Apple had to disable one of its sensors, the heart rate sensor, due to legal issues in the US. While the rest of the world still had access to it, this was a bit of an embarrassment for Apple. There's a chance that Apple has now redesigned the sensor to avoid any patent conflicts. Additionally, there were rumors about a new heart rate sensor that was supposed to debut with the Series 10, but it never made it to release. It's possible that Apple will finally introduce it with the Series 11. However, beyond this, we didn't expect any major upgrades. Apple might introduce a new band or strap with the Series 11, but the overall design will likely remain unchanged. When it launches later in 2025, we probably won't see any drastic changes. Let's talk about the release date and price. Apple has traditionally launched most of its Apple Watches in the fall, usually alongside the iPhone. While there have been a few exceptions, the pattern has remained fairly consistent. Typically, Apple holds its launch event in early September, and the new iPhone and Apple Watch become available about 10 days to 2 weeks later. Based on this trend, the Apple Watch Series 11 will likely be released in late September or early October. As for the price, we expect it to remain the same as the Series 10. Currently, the base model of the Apple Watch Series 10 starts at $399 in the US. This version comes with a smaller display and GPS-only functionality. The Series 11 is likely to retain the same pricing unless the rumored 10% China tax comes into effect, which could increase the cost accordingly. But then again, Apple might absorb that 10% from its profits. We'll have to wait and see how things unfold once the tariff takes effect. There's also a chance we'll see more Apple devices before then, giving us a better idea of how Apple's pricing strategy for the Apple Watch Series 11 will play out. If you want to stay updated on the Series 11 and its pricing, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. And finally, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. That's it for now. See you soon. Take care. Bye.